Hi, it's Jules Vandermark here from Tapping with Jules, and I'm an EFT trainer with EFT International and an advanced EFT practitioner and a social worker. And I'm here today just to explain to you what I call the banana bread analogy, which is a little analogy I developed just to help me explain to people why we work the way we do when we're using EFT, and how to do it in a nice, safe way, especially in the first session, which is when I'm usually introducing this analogy. So let's say that your client comes to you and they say, I'm just feeling sad. I feel sad all the time. And then they tell you that it's to do with a recent breakup of a relationship. And so let's say that this loaf of banana bread represents all the sadness that they've been feeling. So they're sad about a lot of things, but in particular, they're sad about the breakdown of this relationship. So if you were to just tap on, even though I'm feeling all this sadness about the breakdown of my relationship, you'll get a little bit of relief, but it's not going to be overly effective, really. In order to be effective with EFT, we need to get really specific with our clients. So that's why, with the banana bread analogy, what I'm going to say to my client is, okay, let's just cut off a slice of that banana bread loaf, which represents a slice of your sadness. And then let's cut that slice into about 4 pieces. So here's one of the pieces, and this represents a recent time when you felt that sadness. So with this little piece of banana bread, we're thinking about that as helping that person come up with an event. So a time recently when they were triggered to feel really sad about the relationship breakdown. So your client might say to you, oh, well, just yesterday I was looking at Facebook and I saw a photo of my ex with his new girlfriend, and they looked all loved up, and it just made me feel so sad. So there's, if you think about that as the little piece of banana bread, so we can start our setup statement there. Even though I'm feeling really sad, just thinking about yesterday when I was sitting in my bedroom looking on my phone and I saw a photo of my ex with his new girlfriend. And I'm feeling really sad in my heart, and I deeply and completely accept myself. So that's the setup statement based on the specific recent event. Even though I'm feeling really sad, just thinking about yesterday afternoon in my bedroom on my phone looking at Facebook. So they're all the specific details. And I saw a photo of my ex looking all loved up with his girlfriend. And I'm feeling it in my heart, and I deeply and completely accept myself. So that's, we're going to start out like that. And even just starting out like that, like let's say that sadness is 8 out of 10. While you're tapping, your person might get quite overwhelmed. They might get teary. You might need to just stop talking for a minute and just do some silent tapping. No words, no focusing on events, just tapping on the points. Once they're regulated again, you can keep going. And then, of course, there'll be times when they'll do what we call going global. So you'll have them focusing on this recent specific event of looking at the Facebook photo on the phone, and then their mind will go thinking all the times when that ex-partner let them down or made them feel sad or made them feel bad. And that's a very normal thing that the brain will do. And so you're just going to, especially in the first session, just see if you can get them to come back to this recent event. And then you might notice some shifts, and they might say, actually, I don't feel sad anymore. Now I feel really angry because I'm thinking about the time when I put a photo on Facebook of him and me, and he said that he didn't like it. And so you're going to have to start, if that is more intense than the sadness, then you're going to do a new setup statement. Even though I'm feeling really angry, now I'm thinking about the time when I put a photo of him and me on Facebook and he didn't like it and he asked me to take it down. And I feel that in my stomach and I feel it in my fists, and I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I'm feeling angry, thinking about that time when I put a photo of us together at the wedding and he didn't like it and he asked me to take it down. And I'm feeling that in my stomach and my fists, and I accept myself and how I feel. And then you'll do another setup statement, and then you're going to go angry, feeling angry in my stomach, feeling angry, and you'll tap through all the points. And so the idea will be to get that little piece of banana bread down. So the time when she put a photo on Facebook of them at a wedding, he didn't like it. So the idea is you're going to work pretty systematically through pretty recent events. But what might happen is that while you're tapping, your client might find herself, her mind, her hippocampus will drop a little memory from an earlier time in her life. And she might say, oh, now I'm feeling really sad because I'm remembering when I was a teenager and I went to my dad's house where he lived with his new partner and his new kids. And I saw that he had photos on the wall of him and his new kids, but he didn't have any photos of us as kids. And so you can see the link, you know, that the sadness is about the photos, representing how important a person is. And so if a memory like that pops in on a first session, you're probably not going to work on that necessarily in the first session if this is the first time that you've tapped with a person, but you can certainly see the connection there, and you're just going to help them manage that intensity. So lots of sadness. You're just going to, again, you might be doing some silent tapping if they're very teary or very choked up about that. So basically your job is the whole time to keep your client pretty regulated. And I find that using this analogy just helps us to stay focused, stay in the kind of safe zone of recent events, or it might be future events. And I can say, if a person, you know, you can see in a person's eyes if they're going elsewhere, and I can say, are you still focusing on this piece of banana bread? Are we still focusing on the Facebook post of him with his new girlfriend? And your client might say, oh, actually, no. Now I'm thinking about, you know, the time when he did put a photo of us on there and then he took it down. So it can just help you by using this analogy. I find that clients really get it. They understand, oh no, I was thinking about another piece of banana bread. And of course their mind will go global and they'll come back to all the times when they felt sad or other people that have let them down. Anyway, I just find it's a good little trick, a good way of explaining EFT, and people seem to understand it. So give that a go yourself. Thank you.